Welcome back, finally, to the Heavy Riffs Podcast. I believe this is episode 6, possibly episode 7, but it's a completely new world from the last time that we were in here. As you all know, shit's been out of control. Coronavirus, protests, the world seems like it's crumbling. But I can assure you, we will get through this. Life will be different. Life will be hopefully better for all of us. You know, live shows don't seem like they're going to be coming back for at least a while. They're trying them out in Texas. What happens? You know, fucking 10,000 new cases in 2 days. They're trying them out in Florida. Same exact thing. Wisconsin is having a music festival called the Herd Immunity Festival. We'll see how that works out for them. You know, this is Darwinism at its finest. Survival of the fittest, I guess. I've been playing chess on my phone. I've been playing chess for 4 fucking straight months. Been writing here and there. Been working my ass off. I was in production. We've completely switched to infection mitigation, supplying companies with PPE equipment. Had a couple jam sessions here and there. Been drinking way more than I should. Way more than I used to. In fact, that's probably what I need right now. I just wanted to get back in here, just dust off the cobwebs. Get myself back in some sort of rhythm of creativity. Because even with all the time in the world, 2 or 3 months unemployed, I didn't do anything with it. I took that time, and, you know, maybe I didn't have to do anything with it. I could take that time and just relaxed. Spent a lot of time with the girl. Spent a lot of time with family. You know, unfortunately, my grandfather passed away during this time. We weren't able to get in to see him. It sucks. He was 87, had a great run. But the crazy thing is he was healthier than me, probably. He had a fucking brain aneurysm. And even after having a brain aneurysm, he survived for about a week and a half. He called the ambulance on himself. So that's just a testament to how strong he is. And it just sucks that we weren't able to get into the retirement facility to see him. You know, we saw him on Zoom meetings, and I was playing chess with him on my phone. But that's not the same. You know, we would see him probably once every 2 weeks. Maybe twice a week sometimes for the past 8 years since he moved back to Maryland. It just blows, man. And of course, my mom's just angry now, and she goes from being this angel to just kind of bitter, and I get it. She lost her dad. It sucks, but, you know, she doesn't get why they weren't able to go see him. And there's a lot of that going back and forth, a lot of why can't we do this, why can't we do that, and I don't even know if I'm adding anything to the discussion. What are you supposed to do? Just put your mask on and fucking obey. Keep your 6 feet. Live inside. Be scared. You know, it's just a shitty situation all the way around. But hopefully we all come through it stronger, cleaner, healthier. It's kind of hard to justify going to a bar that's, you know, reopened now when thousands of people are still dying. You know, it's weird. It's a weird place to be mentally. And I get it's weird for everybody. I was asking my girlfriend this morning, I didn't know what to do with myself. I have a day off, after working all week. I should be happy to take some time off, take some time to chill. I can't. There's this incessant need to keep doing stuff for whatever reason. It's never satisfied. Always needing to be doing something, whether it's good or bad or whatever. I could probably go. I can't even hit the gym, but I could probably, run around outside, lose the quarantine 15. Lord knows I packed on a couple LBs. I'm realizing I probably should have brought in a friend up here with me. I hit up Justin. He had housework to do. Understandable. But I got more than that. I got a bunch of friends. I could hit any of them up. Henry? That would have been a good idea, man. I haven't even been listening to music. I don't even know what's out. I know All Them Witches came out with a new record. Or a new single. They recorded their new album at Abbey Road Studios, which shout out to them. That's super badass. But I haven't been following music. Have I lost interest in it? No, I've just been focused on family. I've been focused on career, focused on family, focused on not catching this virus, focused on making sure my girl's good, focused on, improving your living arrangements, improving your house. I'm falling apart here, man. Oh, why did I think this was going to be an easy way to do things? Like, what is this? Is somebody realizing that they're not as good as they thought they were and recording it? Do we need topics? I think it seemed to work when Justin and I were in here together. I don't have any topics. I don't have anything to fucking say. I've reached back out to the dude that we were supposed to record with a couple days ago. He hasn't gotten back to me. The record's ready. The track list is sitting on this wall over here. It's ready to be recorded finally. Again, second time. 4 or 5 months later. And I haven't heard anything back, so I don't even know if he's open. Can I even be in a studio with 5 to 6 people, close quarters? Probably. I've already been with Tom and Chris a few times during this. They've been quarantining. We haven't been going out. So I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be able to be in a close quarters in a studio situation. I thought that I was able to get back into it like nothing ever happened. And obviously that's impossible because everything's happened. It sucks when you set everything up and you sit down to do it and you go, And I got this beautiful space. Like, this place is so cool. I love being here, man. I think I just wanted an excuse to get back into the space and try to create something. And I'm not sure if I'm completely embarrassing myself, embarrassing the band that I've spent 10 years building from nothing to having a little slice of the pie. Just a teeny little slice. You got a little teeny tiny slice of the pie. And you gotta cherish that bite, man. I wish we had enough followers that we could have like a segment of people calling in, voicemails, or just something, some sort of content to build off of this. Probably should have prepared something. There's nothing to promote. All of our old shit, I guess. I don't even have that many records left from any, like, all the merch is dwindling. I've got a wall of equipment over here that half of it just needs to be thrown away. It's not even worth trying to sell. I can sell speakers for $50 a pop, but, it's just a pain in the ass to do that. So that's why I'm thinking the dumpster looks pretty good. Put it out in the hallway, put a free to a good home sign on it. I just don't want any of this to go away. I want to hold on to this with everything that I can. Because without this, everything else is bullshit. What am I working to drive my motorcycle once every week? You know, go on vacation for a week once a year? No, it's the idea that you have your own little slice of the pie that nobody else can fucking take away from me or take away from you, whatever that may be. You know, are you the foremost expert on selling Yu-Gi-Oh cards on eBay? That's your fucking slice of the pie. No one can take that away from you. Sell the shit out of that Jinzo. Sell the shit out of that 5 pieces of Exodia. That's all you, baby. My slice is these amplifiers, this room, this camera, this computer, this screen, this fucking shitty Bluetooth microphone, this drum set behind me, these microphones, these amps, these guitars, these pedals, these songs, you all that enjoy these songs. Now, the idea is to build Heavy Riffs as a brand, like a guitar accessory brand. You know, if I could sell guitar cables all day and not have to do anything else, I would do that in a heartbeat. And we'll see. It takes a lot to build that type of shit. And then, 5 people buy it? But, you know, shout out to those 5 people. That 5 grows to 10, 10 grows to 30. Then all of a sudden, you know, you're bringing it in. You don't have to answer to anybody else. And that's really what it's all about. It's not having to answer to anybody else. Oh, you're always going to... Yeah, you probably are always going to. But you can pick and choose who those people are that you answer to. I want to give a huge shout out to Synoptic. These dudes rip. They sent us their whole record. They sent it back in March. So obviously, right when shit shut down. But so I've been sitting on their shit for a while. They sent me their songs back in March. We're like, yo, we would love to have you use our tunes on the podcast. Absolutely. So please, I'm begging you, please send your music to heavyrifspod@gmail.com. Hopefully we get back into some sort of regularly scheduled programming. Because I don't want this to go away, man. You know, next time I'll be a little more organized. Hopefully I'll have a guest. Hopefully, you know, Justin will be with me. My buddy Chris Redmond just put out an amazing record. He was like, I want to come on the podcast, goof around with you. You know, absolutely. That's what it's all about. This is just dusting off the cobwebs. Getting back into a rhythm. And hopefully getting shit back up off the ground. Pick yourself up off the ground. Stop showing so much meat. When we were all 19, we had this band called Galatians. And I played bass in it. Tom played drums. Git played guitar. Our buddy Steve played guitar. And our buddy Joey did vocals. And we were at the studio. And we're recording gang vocals. And the only way to record gang vocals is to get a little of that liquid courage in you. So we're passing around a handle of Captain Morgan, I'm pretty sure it was. 19. None of us know how to drink. You don't drink handles of Captain Morgan. And after the gang vocals, we all thought it'd be cool if each one of us had our own vocal part somewhere towards the end of, like, each individual track. I think we did 5 tracks, possibly. I think it was 5 tracks. So we all had the idea of doing our own individual vocal part. And my line for my song was, pick yourself up off the ground, stop showing so much weakness. This world will walk all over you, as you try to find uniqueness, I believe. 19. I don't even think that's phonetically correct, grammatically correct English, but whatever. So I get up to the mic, I'm pumped, liquid courage flowing through me. And in my best 19-year, this was a hardcore band, mind you. My best 19-year-old hardcore vocals. I go, pick yourself up off the ground. Stop showing so much meat. And, I mean, our boy Derv gets on the mic. He's like, yo. And I just hear laughing in the background. All the boys are just cracking up. And Derv's like, yo, dog, did you just say stop showing so much meat? And, you know, I'm just pumped on adrenaline because I get to be, this is like the first time I've been in a legitimate studio. And I'm like, yo, what? What did I say? And he plays it back. And, oh my God, it was the funniest thing. It was one of those things you had to be there. But it was fucking hilarious. And he cuts it out of the, like, he splices it, puts it on loop, stacks it like 100 times. And he's got this dope row home studio where, you know, speakers in every room. You can hear everything from the control room upstairs throughout the whole entire house. And he just blares it, and it's just going, meat, 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 meat. And it's been a long time inside running joke with all of us for almost 10 years at this point, which is crazy to think about. We're doing this shit for a long time, man. Gifted vocals on a track, and my boy, he was so nervous. He's one of the, you know, Kip doesn't say much, but when he does, he says something. You know what I mean? And it's something profound every time he speaks, and you're like, damn, like, brilliant. And we're like, Kip, do a track. And he's like, all right. He's nervous. He's hitting I think he was drinking Jägermeister. And when my boy opens his mouth, he sounds like the lead singer of the fucking Ghost Inside. And we were all floored. We were like, what? Like, where did that come? I'll try to find these tracks. I know my boy Miles has the tracks. I don't know where they exist. They were on MySpace forever, but obviously MySpace hasn't been a thing in however long MySpace hasn't been a thing. Yeah, this was back in 2010, 2011, something like that. But Gib was just like, oh, and it was like guttural and from the stomach, and we were like, yo. And it was kick Joey out and just like, Gib, you do vocals, dog. There's a million of those stories, man. I think that's probably what I just need to come in here and just tell old stories from the road. Old stories from the studio. Old stories from living together, band practices. That's probably the move. I feel like I'm a much better storyteller than trying to give my 2 cents on current events. Justin and I never really finished talking about the tour. I don't know why we thought anyone would. We broke down a 3-day tour into like 5 episodes of a podcast. I mean, there's a lot of funny shit that went down, but why? Like, who cares? I think we made it all the way up to like day 2 of Brooklyn, and we were only there for one night. Like, there's just, I don't know. I think we ended right before we got to Albany. And Albany's fucking weird, man. For whatever reason, it's the capital of New York City. Or it's the capital of New York, which makes no sense. It should be New York City. But Albany was like a weirder version of Annapolis, which is pretty small. The people were strange. The venue was strange. It's the only show that we played that there was actually people there. People actually came out to see us, which was rad. The pizza sucked. The boys loved it. I thought it was garbage. And the weirdest part is after the show, we have a good time. We had a good time the whole tour. We just drank. We drank booze and ate food. That's what you do. That's what you do in New York. But the weirdest part is we wake up in the morning to somebody screaming bloody murder. Like a grown man. Just... for straight up 10 fucking minutes. And Kip wakes me up and he's like, yo, do you hear that? I'm like, yeah, I hear that. What the hell is that? We look outside the windows. We don't see anything. I think Justin walked out the front door. We didn't see anything. So that place was definitely haunted. There's an old Airbnb that we stayed in. And the screaming was coming from the walls. And you can't tell me otherwise. And after that, we said, we're getting the fuck out of here. Grabbed our toothbrush, threw our boots on, jumped in the minivan. And we didn't leave Albany. We went and ate breakfast at a Betty Boop themed diner, which was very strange. They had one of those old curved TVs with a VHS slot. Not even playing Betty Boop cartoons. They were just playing like the local news, and I was like, that sucks. And in the middle of the restaurant were this old couple that was eating the whole time. And then the dude started doing like bills right there. So I guess he was the owner. It was strange. It was very strange. So we got the fuck out of Dodge, hit the road, got a couple more hot dogs and went home. And the depression that I felt the minute that I got back to my house was immense. I walked into my house. At the time I was living with like 6 other people. There's a big party going on. There's our homies Sego, the band Sego, shout out to Sego. They'd stay at our house every time they came through on a tour. And they were just starting their tour. So they were staying at our house that night. And I'm just getting back from tour. And I don't know how to explain it. Like, I didn't want it to stop. It was only 4 days. So I don't know what's going to happen if we ever go on an actual extended world tour. And you hear about it all the time. Maybe I'm just being a bitch. But you hear, I've heard people say it all the time. They get back and, you don't know what to do with yourself. There's just a certain camaraderie about being out. Nothing beats being on the open road. It's, the old adage is true. It's the shit. But I don't know if everyone was already drunk when I had gotten back, but I think 2 of my close friends were like, yo, how was tour? And I was like, it was sick. I wish I was still there. They were like, we get it. But when we were in Brooklyn, the bartender that was closing down the bar the next day gave me this awesome bandolier that was Underberg. It's a kind of a gnarly digestif. It's hanging on the wall behind the camera. But she gave me, and so the thing is, if you save up enough caps of Underberg, you send it into them, and they send you merch. Just like what Marlboro used to do back in the day. If you send them enough cigarette butts, they'd send you a hat. I don't know how it worked. It was something stupid, something gnarly like that. I know it was coupons, whatever. So I was stoked on this Underberg bandolier. The whole time, I couldn't wait to get back to show my roommate. And I get back, and I'm dealing with this sadness, but I'm like, I'm going to rally. I was stoked to see my girl. I was stoked to see the homies. I was stoked to be home, but it was just this feeling I couldn't explain. The this feeling of just something missing, obviously being on tour still. But I go to my roommate with this, and it's like the first thing, I haven't even kissed my girl yet. I'm like, yo, check out this fucking rad Unerberg bandolier. And I was going to tell him the story about the bartender, and she was selling the bar, and she was crying, and all this was going on. And his response, he's like, dude, I got like 6 of them. Well, who cares? And that just sucked the life out of me. And I was like, all right, I'm done with this. Fuck this shit. I don't know, man. There's just something about being out there with like your closest homies that you have like this weird mental connection with when you guys are playing music. Like, no, y'all in bands understand. And maybe everyone understands, but there's just like this psychedelic, cosmic, mental connection when you're playing with people that you've played with your whole entire life. And when you spend that much time out just, seeing everybody's intricacies and everybody's weird fucking, how many times does this dude pick his nose? How many times does that dude take a shit? If you're Tom, not at all. All that shit. I had spent 3 days just so stoked to show my friend this Underberg thing that I got, and the fact that he just wrote it off like nothing. It sucked. It really sucked. And maybe I'm just being a little pussy, but like, I was like, damn, all right, fuck this. I went to my room, slept it off, woke up the next morning. It's been a year and I'm still bummed, so obviously it had an impact. So that's the moral of the story. If your friend's showing you something, it's probably important to them. So even if you don't give a fuck, just pretend to give a fuck. Just pretend to care. Because obviously that person cares enough to show you something. If your friend's band sucks, if your friend shows you a band that sucks and they're super into it, there's something to say about being brutally honest and being like, dude, this fucking sucks. But don't find something constructive to say about it. Take the time. Obviously, if they're reaching out to you, they mean something. You mean something to them. So take the fucking time to pretend like you give a fuck. Take the 10 minutes to listen to the shitty song they sent you. Instead of going, dude, this just sucks, be like, yo, this one part reminded me of something, whatever it may be. An old friend of mine reached out to me recently. It's like, I want to start a tribute band. Have you heard this band? I want to start a tribute band where I do vocals and you play the guitar. I told him, I said, oh, yeah, I'll check it out, man. Listen to it. It's like Dropkick Murphys, like pirate chant type shit. That's not my music at all. In fact, I would say I fucking hate that shit. But he cared enough to reach out. And it reminded me of him and another friend of mine. Like, I could picture in my mind's eye the two of them, hair dyed green, in a muddy-ass fucking field, chanting along to those songs because they love that shit. And that made me happy. That brought a smile to my face. And I told him that. I was like, this one song was dope. I'd like to learn on guitar. You could sing. We could probably record a video. I don't have the time to dedicate myself to an entire tribute band. The amount of time it takes to learn those songs, get the band together, do all that shit. I've got my own band. I've got a career. I've got a girlfriend, a dog. I want to buy a house. I just can't dedicate myself, and I'm not going to bullshit it and be like, yeah, fuck yeah, that sounds awesome, and then never hit him back up again about it. That sucks. No one likes that. So, you know, if somebody reaches out to you, you mean something to them. So fucking let them know that they mean something to you. And that's on God, boy. You didn't know we were going to get so sentimental, did you? Jesus Christ. Get 2 fucking Coors Banquets in me, and all of a sudden I can actually speak on something. God bless. That's what it is. I'm not passionate about most current things going on, so I can't talk about it. I can only speak on what I'm passionate about, and that's shit that goes on with me. And that may be selfish, but, you know, I give a fuck about my band. Give a fuck about my music. Give a fuck about my family. I can talk about that shit all the time. And, you know, this is kind of therapeutic. Not kind of, it's very therapeutic. You get in here, just regurgitate nonsense, stream of conscious. Plus, it's an excuse to drink beer and, like, feel like you're accomplishing something, which is very, very cool sometimes, man. I thought that I was ready to have one of my friends come in here and, like, man the camera, do camera switches, man the audio, kind of like a producer. Do you know how boring that would be to produce this show when it's just me with nothing to say? When I go to edit this, there's probably going to be 30 3-minute breaks of pure silence where I'm just staring at the wall trying to figure out where to go next. And that right there is miserable for everybody involved. Well, hopefully we got something. Hopefully my trip up here, my trip setting this all up, wasn't for nothing. And if it was for nothing, then so be it, because that's how a lot of things are. That's how most of life goes. You build something up in your head, you actually execute it, and it doesn't turn anything out like how you thought it would. Whether it be your wedding day, a birthday, a date, a show, a podcast. But the important thing is that you fucking tried. The important thing is you did it. A lot of people don't do anything. A lot of people fall into a routine, become a cog in the system. And I'm not saying I'm not, because I ain't. I'm 100% part of the system. And that's nobody's fault but my own. But, you know, I can try my best to throw a little glitch in there every once in a while. I can do my best to jab the knife in, twist it. Just dig a little bit. Just carve out my own nook of existence. Cut off my own slice of the pie. This is a church. We worship the riff. Praise Iomi. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Black Lives Matter. Be good to your family and your friends and the people that love you. Much love.